So should we stay that far away from each other?
We will first try like this. We first like try.
But then you never will be able to ask me any question, right?
It's true.
Okay.
You have to.
And maybe let's start with a short introduction.
Do you? Yeah. Let's start with the introduction of this guy. I was told this guy is called Fred. Can you all say hi, Fred? Okay, this was bad. This was bad. So maybe you cannot hear me. Can you hear me like down there somewhere? No reaction at all in the last row. Okay, that's great. Can you say hi, Fred? Okay, we will work on this. Okay, we'll work
maybe we have to try later.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe a short introduction. I'm Matthäus. I'm one of the co-founders of Planeo. We are a Berlin-based search agency for search engine optimization, and I'm really happy to be here with Peter. So we will talk about a project which is running now for over 4 years, almost 4 years. And maybe you can also give us a short introduction about your position and what you were doing at Henkel.
Yes, my name is Peter Hartmann. I'm, what am I now? Head of Digital Transformation at Henkel. Henkel, you might know with brands like Schwarzkopf, Persil, Patek, Loctite, Fritz, all of those brands. Who of you knows one of those brands? Hands up if you know one of those brands. Hands down if you don't know any of these brands. Okay, you failed at this one, but it's okay. Yes, and what we are doing in the team is several things, but one of the most important things is having this sustainable content marketing approach, which we have been now doing in the fifth year, we will see. Yeah. We will see what the slides say.
Yeah.
These times of years.
Let's see. But maybe, Peter, you can ask me one question. So what is, in your opinion, the most critical part when you work on a sustainable strategy? So what would you recommend to do and to focus on?
Now it would be good if I remember what's on the next slides, right? No, but I would say the most important thing would be search intent in a way. So knowing what the consumer is searching, because otherwise you are just producing content for yourself, and this shouldn't be the goal, right? So you should have tailored content for the consumer in the end.
Yeah, and that's what we would like to talk today about the search intent, about how to make sure that your content strategy and your content marketing approach is working for a quite long time. So we started it in 2018, still working on the pages and on our website. And one thing I would like to remember you before you leave today is that you use your website as your most important marketing asset, right? So the website is something what belongs to your company, belongs to your team. You can use it and you can leverage it. And that's where we build on our whole content marketing approach for Henkel, especially for the brands Patek and Loctite globally. And the question is probably why we have chosen the website as our main communication channel. And I think there are like 3 main criteria why the website is something you should use because you own it. One main criteria is you can communicate whatever you want, right? So it's your website. You can publish the content you would like. For sure, you need to make sure that everyone is aligned within the company, but it's your website and you can communicate the content you would like to communicate to your customers and your target group. On the other side, you are really independent of social media networks. So when you remember the beginning of Facebook, a lot of companies built the fan page with a lot of followers, a lot of likes. And now if you want to leverage your Facebook crowd, you need to run ads because organic approach or organic reach isn't there anymore on Facebook, right? And I'm sure this will become for all other social media marketing channels as well, that you build your audience and then when the social media channels start to monetize the audience, you will lose your organic reach. And I would say the third topic is that your website lasts forever. So that's something where we would say that a website is still something what is relevant today, will be relevant for the future, and everything you publish on your website is part of your content marketing strategy.
Can I add number 4?
Yes.
Okay, because I think I have a good one. And you have to tell me if it's right, actually. Yeah. No, but what you also have, if you have a website, if you have constant traffic on it, it can be the most cost-efficient source how to get people actually to discover your brands. So as Matthäus also said, you are independent from social networks, yes, But what you also see is that the cost for paid search, the average CPC, the cost per click which you see, is rising, rising, rising. Same is happening with the ads which you have to pay on social networks. So if you are independent from them, and you even have like a more cost-efficient approach, if you are pulling through with an SEO approach, why shouldn't you do this, right? So strategically, I think there's also nothing which you can have in this stage, which is the consideration stage of the user, which is very different from the social networks where you can target them based on awareness primarily, but once they are searching, they find you. And this is also something which we did. So we know that also competitors of us, like around the world, they like to invest a lot into the awareness stage. Once the user actually then has a problem and wants to repair something, they will not find the competitor but us. So that's also something why we are doing this in the end.
Yeah. And this brings us to the next question. So what are like the traffic sources you may have when you want to bring traffic to your website? First of all, you can pay for it. Quite easy. You pay for the traffic, you can use Google Ads, you can use display, you can use native. On the other side, you can use social media. Oh, 1 second. You can use social media in terms of organic traffic from social media or even paid traffic. And you can also concentrate on the content on your website, your content marketing approach to get the traffic from search engines where your customers are when they have a problem, they are searching for a solution or for a product, and then you can get them when they are in the consideration phase to your website. And that's basically what we are doing now for over 5 years. And today we will give you some insights how this works and how much traffic we could generate within a year and how much value we generate within a year. So 68% of all adults are looking online for information. So if someone is looking for something to glue, something to fix, to repair, or even like all the other Henkel brands, like beauty brands, like hairstyles and hair care, for sure they will start to look online, and mainly they start to look at Google, right? So today we still see that there are a lot of different search phrases, and every day, every year, the traffic is growing, and also we see that it makes totally sense for us as a brand to be visible and to be present where our customers are. And that's also something what we took care and took into consideration when we were working on the strategy to make sure we do not optimize on keywords. We optimize more on problems the customers may have, questions they may have, problems, needs, whatever it is. So it's not just a keyword, it's more about you can see that behind a search intent, there's a specific solution they are looking for. And this is exactly what we have done for Patex and for a lot of different adhesive brands at Henkel, that we wanted to understand what kind of topics customers search for. And you could differentiate between branded problems, specific problems, or generic. And when we talk about branded content, that's not something what is easy to reach because it's your brand domain, and for sure you will rank within the top 3, mainly on position 1. So for people who are looking for Patex super glue, how long does it take to dry, where to buy Patex shoe glue, whatever it is. So these are all your brand terms. So mainly responsible for those search queries is your marketing team. So your marketing team, it could be TV, out of home, whatever it is, like a push channel. So they trigger those searches. So it's not something what is from SEO or content marketing perspective difficult to reach. More difficult is it when you are in the consideration phase of the customer and they are not aware of your brand. So they're just looking for gluing glass, gluing shoes, fixing, repairing something. So these are users we would like to reach with our brand pages because they are not aware of the solution Patex offers, because otherwise they would look for Patex super glue or Patex shoe glue. So in this case, we focus on the problems they may have. And that's mainly the core of the strategy, to understand what your customers are looking for and provide the best appealing answer they may get online. And on the other side, for sure, when we talk about search and we talk about e-commerce and we talk about brands, would like to rank for specific generic terms. And this could be glue, tile adhesive, super glue, fabric glue, whatever it is, right? So if someone is looking for a specific product range, we are also visible within search. And that's mainly how we divided the three different buckets of keywords and started to optimize for this. And when we talk about the content and the website, what is the most important topic or the most important factor you need to have on your website to make sure you can cover all the searches and cover the search intent your customers may have? And in my opinion, or in our opinion, this was let's say the way we were heading for over 4 years now, is to concentrate on the content. So the main important topic was to educate the Henkel team, everyone who was involved in the project, that it's not like classic advertising, that we buy ads, that we buy advertorials, whatever it is. It was the reason that we said, let's invest in our website, our most sustainable asset, because our website lasts forever. And this was mainly where we have to educate a lot of people. And the target was to reach customers and to gain visibility within the online customer stage, consideration stage. And first of all, we were thinking of how-tos. So what kind of topics would we need to publish on our website where our products are part of the solution they are looking for? So how to glue shoes, how to glue glass, how to glue metal, whatever it is, right? So people who are looking for a solution they may have. We had also a lot of product guides, so that we describe what kind of product fits to your specific problem. So for example, if you would like to glue plastic, a super glue does not work. So you need like an activator, so you need a plastic glue instead of a super glue. And also the third part are like buying guides, that we also can give guidance to the user to get the best product they may have and also to have a good brand experience. Because I think it's the worst case when you buy a product, you are not aware of where you can use it or how you can use it, and then two things won't glue together and you are really unsatisfied. So this is why buying guides are also a really important part of the content strategy we established in, I think, 2019, and we're running for the last 4 to 5 years.
It also makes just a lot of sense for products where you need to educate the consumer in the end, right? So if you are, I don't know, like just selling sweets or something like this, I could believe that people are not really searching for how to open a chocobon or something like this, you know, like I don't think this happens. But I mean, how many of you know actually what is the perfect glue for gluing something to, like metal to wood? Like, even I don't know, to be honest. You know, there might be a product for this, but the difficulty with this one is you have to educate the consumer first before he can make actually a buying decision. And for products like this, it's working. And additionally, since we are a glue, like usually, if you have a project, you are not thinking the first thing which I need is glue, but the first thing which I need is, I don't know, if I want to build a beard house, I need wood, probably. I would need a saw to get everything basically in the right order. And then, yeah, okay, I need also then glue. So if you then come over that project approach in the end to say, hey, let's build a beard house, and then sneak in basically that you also need some glue for it, and we know basically which glue, because it's actually not that easy to find also the right glue then for this application, then you have basically this concept here, which is then more about the how-tos versus just having like the brand advertising in your face.
Yeah. And also one important topic for us was that when we educate a customer online and they go offline shopping and looking for a glue, probably someone does not want to buy the glue online, that they still keep us in mind as a solution provider, as someone who helps them solve the problem, and then also to buy the right brand in the retail store instead of buying a competitor's brand. And that's what the main approach was as well.
Plus also, if you are actually, has anybody had the experience which I had before I actually joined Henkel, which was going to the DIY store, so to an EBE here in Germany, for example, just to name one of them, Bauhaus, whatever, and you just stand in front of the glue shelf and you actually see that, oh my God, there are just like hundreds of products which I need, like just to find basically the right glue. This is also a challenge. And then you see actually that most of the people, I mean, I'm also doing this, like not for the gluing application, but for other things. When you are in the supermarket looking for the best stuff actually, which you get your phone out and you're researching online, right? So just to see, is it the best price? Does this thing do what I actually need to do and so on? So therefore also having content on the website. We talked now so long about content on the website.
Yeah.
You need content on the website. That's the main message.
I also remember one story, I think it was like 2 years ago. I wanted to glue a toy of my daughter. And I just sent a picture to Peter and said, hey, look, finally I can use super glue to glue something and to repair something. And he said, it will never work out. And I said, why not? It's super glue. It can glue everything. And he said, no, it's plastic. For this, you need a plastic glue, which has an activator and a super glue. And this is also something where we see that if you are not educated enough as a customer, you maybe have a bad user experience or bad brand experience because you used the wrong product. And this was also my case. I thought, I know Patex now for 2 years, this should fix and stick together, and that didn't work. And this is why for Patex and for Loctite, all the Henkel adhesives brands, it's really important to educate their customers. And also, one question you may have is how to set up such a project globally. If you think of Henkel, Henkel is a big brand, a big company, having multiple offices around the world, multiple teams working on different brands. And I think this was also one of our main success factors, that we were not just the agency which is responsible for SEO, but we also had a content agency which was responsible for the global content. And this is how the setup works today. Since 2018, we have more than 33 websites, so 33 websites, brand websites, in more than 20 countries, in more than 11 languages. So you need to make sure that you understand your audience in a local market. So for example, one topic which is just relevant for the German market is, for example, Schultüte, which means this is a present you give to your kids when they go to primary school. And that's just a cultural German topic, and you never have this in Turkey or France, but maybe there are different topics you need to cover. So this is why it's really important when you think of a global strategy, that it's not a global strategy you define and then you use it for each market. It's more that you execute it on a local level. So we need to have local copywriters from Content Fleet. We need the local marketing team from Henkel's side to make sure that we talk about the right products, the right applications. And we need to have the research and analysis for the local market. What kind of topics are the most relevant per market and how we should prioritize the content creation.
Yeah, maybe maybe if you take anything away from this, okay, this is what you need to know. Like in one summary, basically, just translating global master text into different languages and then putting it on all the local pages will not work. It just doesn't work. I have seen this so many times, also with other companies, whenever I'm talking to people who are like in my position at other companies, it just does not work. Yeah. Like if you want to burn some money, do this. Wait a second. If you are a competitor, this totally works. What you should do is take the global content and don't even translate it, just put it on all the pages. For all others, this doesn't work. It doesn't work.
So this is also why we don't talk about translation, we talk about transcreation. So you use the master content and adapt it to the local needs, to the local culture, to the local keywords. So maybe also the keywords may differ. So in German you have 2 synonyms. In French you just have 1 word, or the opposite way. So that's why it's really important to execute on a local level. And when we started 2018, we started first with a strategy and a setup, so that we say what are the most relevant markets for Henkel as a brand. And the main markets were Brazil, Germany, Canada, France, UK, and the US. So these were the first markets. After, I would say, 6 to 8 months, we realized this approach, which was mainly just a theory, worked really well. Also with the whole setup of a global Henkel team setup. And then we started to leverage this approach and to build a framework and use it for various markets. So in this year, after now nearly 5 years, we are operating in 20 markets, 11 languages, and building 33 brand websites. And if you ask yourself, that sounds quite interesting, what was like the result we reached so far? So that's the rocket where Peter is sitting inside.
I didn't know this.
And when you have a look on the German page, so that's just the German page, but we have such a development for all of the other brands. You see that in the first beginning of the project, it does not work out as we thought it would work out, because it takes time until you create the content, you publish the content, you get the rankings improve, you start to rank on page 2 on Google, but no one is clicking on page 2 on Google. You need to make sure that the content ranks within the top 10 results on Google, ideally within the top 3. And the older the content gets, and the more authority your website gains, the more visibility you can reach. And that's the visibility graph in Germany. And when you look now for how to glue shoes, how to glue glass, how to glue whatever you would like to glue, I'm sure you will find Patex within the top 3, ideally in position 1, as well as for the product categories. So when you look for super glue, fabric glue, metal glue, you will always see Patex within the first top results, and we are able to be in the consideration phase of the customer.
What you can also see here, this is actually quite interesting. You see basically the curve is like not very stable until here, right? Then it's breaking. That's where we relaunch the websites to put them on a stable platform. And then we put the content on it. And then you can see like it's growing. So if you are doing this consistently with a lot of priority also, because this is also a fight within like a big corporation, why is it important to approve content? And you can maybe also imagine that it's not only me who is in this project, but it's over 100 Henkel people who have to say in the end, yes, we like this content, it should be on the website, because there are technical reasons, legal reasons, and so on. Everybody basically wants to play. Getting this content live is the difficult part. Yes.
Yeah. And I think also like one of the biggest benefits when you invest in a new website, the content is there, the rankings are there, the traffic is there. So it's not comparable to classic ads when you run Google ads, that you stop your budget because of maybe budget cuts and then you don't get any traffic at all. This is quite solid. So even if we would start not recreating the content or optimizing the content or updating the content, we would still stay on this high level. And I think this is the biggest benefit you may have when you start to invest in your website. And we were talking about 33 different websites in 20 markets. And what the idea of this year traffic goals would be is at least to reach 30 million visits from search on a yearly basis. And that's what our approach is. That's what we are looking for. And when you try to calculate this in, let's say, in a media value, so what kind of budget you would invest in Google Ads to get the same amount of traffic, we have 2.5 million media value on a yearly basis. You would either invest in social media ads or Google search ads, whatever it is, you would have to invest it. And for sure, the content this year and also the last years was less than 2.5 million on a yearly basis, the whole setup of the project. And when we compared it with last year, for example, with 2022, we could even increase it by 1/3 from the media value last year. And I'm sure for the markets which started last year or 2 years ago, we are still not there where we could be in terms of traffic. So the content is still developing, the website is still developing. So also the traffic will develop over the next years, and the media value as well.
And what's also nice, I mean, from my perspective, what Matthäus was just saying, like in a, let's say, in a not on point way, but I am spending less than this money to get the traffic. That's the good thing. So I'm paying basically Matthäus and also the other agency, Conofleet, which I'm paying less than this amount, which makes sure that it's a return on invest now every year. So it wasn't like this in the beginning, of course. Then you spend more, then you actually get back in media value. But now every year we are just employing this approach. We are getting more traffic, getting more media value in the end than we are paying for the service. So that's amazing.
Yeah. And to sum it up, so what were the main key success factors for this global project? First of all, to understand your customers. So understand your customers, what they are looking for in terms of your products, in terms of problems they may have, questions they may have. Turn your website into an asset. So invest in your website, not in, let's say, foreign social media networks. You maybe lose your traffic or lose your fans because then they start to monetize. So your website lasts nearly forever. Make the content a priority. So this was also something what we need to educate the internal teams, that they need to proofread the content, to approve the content, that the editor's team can upload the content and start ranking. And build on your success. So what was quite easy for the second and third year is to show, hey, look, this is what we have done the last 6 to 12 months pays off. Let's take new countries into this project. Let's enlarge the project because we see this works quite well. We get a positive return on invest, and this is something which will last forever. Even if we stop creating content, if we stop investing in the website, the content still stays there and will generate reach and traffic and make sure that customers will see the Patex brands, Henkel brands in their consideration phase when they are looking for a solution, a how-to guide, or even a product range.
Thank you. Thanks for the presentation. Small question. So you said you're independent from social media, but you're dependent from Google update or any changes. So my question is more, how do you see or how do you adapt your strategy to Google change, meaning ChatGPT, Google Bard, everything related to conversational chat? And are you afraid of like less click and less traffic because of this trend? Thank you very much.
That's a good question. So for us as an agency, the future ChatGPT will do the work. We are sitting somewhere on the beach, but Peter is still paying for it. No, it will not be the case. In my opinion, AI tools will help for us to make easier the whole process, to make easier the content creation, but still you will need to have copywriters. That's from like the content production way. When it comes to the search result pages, I don't think that Google will become a just one answer machine. So for sure they will somehow leverage ChatGPT or need to adapt because of Bing. So probably they will have some conversational features, but still, as long as for Google as the major search engine, the Google Ads business is that important, they still will have clicks on the search result pages. So this is why we don't think this will be that difficult. For sure, when we think of users will move from searching a solution on Google to ChatGPT, then for sure we will have a problem because the traffic will decrease. But I'm not sure if this will happen, to be honest.
Thank you very much. Same question, I guess? No, other question.
Hello, thank you so much for the presentation. It was very insightful. I have a couple of questions. The first one is related to the goal of sessions that you have set for 13 millions. How this number was set? It seems to be like completely arbitrary to me, presented that way, but maybe there is some math behind. And the second one is like very basic, is media value. Can you define that?
Yes. So the goal we defined was based on a potential analysis. So we researched what kind of topics, what kind of keywords we would like to optimize, how often they were searched on a monthly basis, when we reach specific positions, how many traffic we can expect. And this was like the goal we were working on. Now we see when we calculated the traffic of the previous month, so we can make a prediction if we see that the traffic and the content develops as the months before, this is what we can hit as a target. The media value, it's a calculation from an outside-in tool, so it's not calculated by us because we are not allowed to share internal numbers. So that's an external tool you can use, hrefs.com, and it calculates mainly the cost per click for a specific keyword and the estimated traffic you may get. So for example, if you have a keyword with 1,000 searches a month, you get 100 clicks, and this keyword costs you 50 cents, then you have to pay 500 euros for this keyword to get the same amount of traffic. So this is how we calculate the media value. But also internally, we have different valuations or different calculations we are not allowed to share on stage, but that's something what you can use as a proxy to understand how much traffic it is and how much value you generate with this traffic coming from those generic terms and keywords.
Thank you very much. I apologize in advance for being strict with the time management. Last short question. Yeah, and short answer, please.
Yes, I try.
Do you use Google Trends or similar to determine which content to create?
I would say we use Google Trends for topics like hair care for Schwarzkopf brands, but not that much for adhesives because there are no trends, right? So or barely any trends. What we were using is the keyword planner of Google Ads or dedicated keyword tools where you get the search volume data. But Google Trends is just a scale from 0 to 100. So it does not say how much monthly searches you can expect for a specific keyword. So this is why I would always recommend to use Google Ads and Google Keyword Planner.